All right, so let me just kind of backtrack. This is your back button always. I would
Okay.
never use anything else on the screen other than if it says, like in Cephi, it'll tell us down here, go back, you can go back. But normally when you're moving from, from different module to different module, you always want to use the infinity sign. So that
Okay.
just make that.
That's why I was having trouble with the scanner itself because it didn't have like the back arrows like my Android does.
Yeah.
So okay, that's
This
good.
is your actual back area unless there's something in the module that says back, then you can use
Okay.
back. But otherwise, always use the infinity sign as your back button. And again, I'll go over this since I already went over it with Cindy, but I wasn't recording the video. The question mark will let you know what's going on with each page that you're at. So say you want to know what the quick scan is about, you hit the question mark, it will tell you what the quick scan is, why you want to use it, and when you want to use it. And really the quick scan is basically for people that don't have time. They don't have the 12 to 15 minutes to do the easy scan or the vitals and the comprehensive and all that, because those all take just a little bit of time. So if it's in the morning and hey, you just want to find out what your supplements are, then you hit your morning and then all my supplements are loaded. So I go through here and I click every single one of them because I want the scanner to analyze everything in my list. And so, and I'm hoping that they'll soon have a select all because it would make it a lot easier. I'm not going to do evening, but you just go in here and you click all this and then you put your voice in there and you're done. You record your voice and then it gives you a screen. I'll go ahead and do this real quick. It's only 10 seconds so you can kind of see what's going on. Again, I don't run my scans from my computer, so it's not probably going to be perfect, but it's going to probably be a little close to what I need. Now this just simply told me homeopathics. It did not tell me any of the supplements. So evidently I just need homeopathics today. Quick scan. However, on my easy scan, I can show you some of that, but that's how the quick scan is designed. And then if you've got these homeopathics and then your supplements that show up, then you just basically lay the bottle or set the bottle on top of your scanner right in the middle, and you would hit imprint, make sure that the volume is up, and just go through that list and imprint the entire bottle with every one of those. Take 5 to 6 pellets and you're done. And then I go back to the Cephi program, and you always want to erase that bottle of supplements. So you stick that back on your screen and you hit erase, and it's going to erase all those things you just imprinted. So make a habit of, if you're imprinting, homeopathic remedies, you always want to clear them first before you imprint them. Once you imprint them, if you're not going to continue to take those homeopathics all day long, make a habit, just re-erase it so it's ready for the next scan. That's what I do.
So you still have pellets left over in the bottle. That's what you're erasing the frequencies out of. Okay.
Yeah.
So my thing is like I drink Kangen water, so I can imprint those frequencies into my water I'm drinking for
You
the day.
certainly can. You certainly can.
Awesome.
You can also, we've got the water sticks, and I don't know how the Kangen water machine works, but you can even put this. You can imprint frequencies into the water stick, and then stick that into your bottle of water that you're drinking. And there's no harm in that. It's just like giving you dual frequencies, and it helps to re-educate the body, because all we're doing is we're re-educating the body with what frequencies are the body's wanting. So there's no harm in doing that. Just make sure you charge those water sticks once a week. We choose to do them on Sundays. We set out our bracelets, our dog collar. I even have some of the patches. I set those out, the water sticks. I set everything out in the sun on Sundays for 2 hours. So make a habit of that. Let me go ahead and continue to show you this menu here. This is where you'll put your pets, your spaces, your objects, your supplements and therapies. You can also edit a current client, create a new client, and search clients.
So what's that spaces and objects?
Spaces and objects is one of my favorites. For example, one of the things that we've all been doing is we've been sending a playlist to Earth. So I'll show you all my spaces and objects in here. I have my car in here. I have my home. I have the home I desire. I have a motor home that I would like to have. So it's kind of like my vision board in a way. I've also put my mortgage in here with the paper that says, hey, I'm going to have it paid off in a year. I've also got Canada that, you know, we want Canada open by the end of 2021. We wanted Australia open by the end of 2021, and that's done. So I can delete that one because Australia, I was a big key player in getting Australia opened. Earth is where, like I said, when we go to our CEFI program, then we go here and we choose what we want our target to be. So everything you have loaded in as an animal, space objects. Go ahead.
Oh, I was saying, hey to Carissa. Carissa, we're actually recording this Zoom, so you can go back and watch it.
Yeah.
Yay. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Good to have you.
Thank you.
So I was kind of going over the spaces and objects with Cindy right now, and these are all my spaces and objects that I have loaded. So when you go to the CEFI program, if you're going to broadcast frequencies to something, you want to make it the target. So let's say we're going to broadcast frequencies to Mother Earth because we know how bad things are right now. Then we can go to our custom playlist, and one of the playlists that I do for Earth is love. I have a love vibe that I do, and it does an energetic clearing, an energetic shield, gratitude, love, forgiveness. It's something that I typically will run on angelic times, like 11 or 111 or 222 or whatever. A lot of the team members have started to do that, and it's been incredible just to kind of hear some of everybody's experiences. The other thing that I do is I've got my vehicle in here. And let's say I'm going down the road and, you know, I'm traveling through some different states, then I can actually, you know, make my car the object of the CEFIs that I want to run. And you can do energetic clearing, you can do gratitude, love, you can do the same type of playlist for your car as you're going down the road. And I typically do this every time when I'm traveling. And I've also even got the states in here that I travel through the most to get to where I'm going. And I will run frequencies as I'm going down the road through those states, so that it kind of helps give a hedge of protection, so to speak. And honestly, it's been beautiful because I've made, you know, 6 trips in the last 8 months, some to Florida and some to Utah. I've been to Utah 4 times in the last 6 months. So, and I drive almost every time. So this is something that I make a habit of. You can do that. The sky's the limit. If there's something that you like, a room or a space, some of the people that we have feel like there's mold in a bathroom. So they'll take a picture of their bathroom space, load it in the spaces and objects. So when we go to spaces and objects, you want to add it. So you want to hit the add button. You'll just say bathroom, you know. And then the description, let's say it's our second guest bathroom. And then you can upload a picture and then save that. And now it'll be in your spaces and objects. So I'm not going to save it because I don't have a picture in here. But if I did, then you could go down here and you could just save it to your list and it will show up in your spaces and objects list. So any questions about the spaces and objects? You can pretty much run CEFIs on anything. Like if you feel like I had a friend that her horse was having issues. They didn't know if it was the hay that was causing the health problems or if it was actually something in the pasture. So I told her, I said, send me a picture of the pasture, send me a picture of their water trough, send me a picture of the hay, send me a picture of his, shelter. And I ran Cephes on that horse, and I can show it to you because she told me that I could actually do that. So I'll show you the stuff that I put in for her. When you go in here, and she has given me permission to show other people. So please know that I'm not breaking anything here by showing you guys this, because she's let me know that I can share this.
I do have a question there, because I just noticed her picture she had her glasses on.
Yeah.
Or I thought we were supposed to take our glasses off to take a picture. Does it matter?
No, it's better if you don't, but I've not had any issues with anybody wearing their glasses. And honestly, we don't even need a picture anymore. Lauren says it's not even necessary to put a picture of the person in there, because we do have people that I don't want my picture taken. Okay, fine. Can you give me a picture of a hand or a shoulder? You know, we've resorted to doing that, but he's let us know that not even a picture is necessary. I still ask for a picture only because it helps me to remember who I'm working with, because I have a lot of people that I work with. So in her, I'm going to show you her pets and animals. We've got her horse in here, and this is the horse that I was working on. And in the spaces and objects is where I put all of these items, you know, that I told her. I said, well, just send me a picture of everything, your property, his food. And then, so whenever I went to the Cephes program, then I made him the target, or whatever the target was. If I wanted to do it on the food, then I did, like on his food, I think I did mold free, because they felt like mold wasn't. Now these playlists, you have to make them all up. They're not in there. These are things that I have actually made up. And I've got 2 or 3 devices. So I run back and forth. My other device has some, but anyway, so what I did was I made up a playlist specifically for mold with hay. I think I've even got it under hay. I don't know. Yeah, hay mold. So then I broadcasted that continuously for, you know, I actually muscle tested and asked, how long should I run this on his hay? You know, is this the issue? And I muscle tested for everything in that list as well.
Now, how are you muscle testing when they're not there?
I get permission. I've gotten permission from Wendy both to muscle test for her and for the horse, but you can do that remotely with anybody. As long as
are you muscle testing on yourself?
You just ask, I'm muscle testing for myself, or I'm muscle testing for Justin, or I'm muscle testing for Wendy, and I get my answers.
Okay.
So, I mean, if I say I'm muscle testing for Tammy and it's locked, I'm not muscle testing. I'm already setting the intention. I'm muscle testing for Justin. I'm muscle testing for Justin. So my fingers come straight apart. I also do a pendulum. Pendulum's not my favorite.
Right.
I like to do my fingers, or I do a sway test. Those are my favorite ways to muscle test. And I do a lot of muscle testing intuitively too. I've been doing it for, I don't know, 30 years. So it's just something that comes natural for me. So that's just something that I do. And I really suggest my team members to learn how to muscle test. And you guys are all chiropractors. You probably know how to muscle.
Well, we do when we muscle test like in person. I've just never done it like remotely. So
yeah, it can be done, and we do it through listing. There's several lists that are out there, and someone made these lists up, but I think they're in I keep a book on everything, but we have a list that you can actually use a pendulum, and they have every one of the frequencies that are listed in our devices. Right. So if you want to use a list like this, then you can. And I think these are found in the Solex official group, and I think they're also in my group in the files section. Nadia Lutz actually made those lists for us. So
well, my vision is to eventually like get everyone I talk to and whoever I get tested to get their own device.
Yes.
So hey Kayla, thanks for joining us. So we're actually recording this so we can go back and watch it, just so you know. But my question is, and Carissa has this question as well, like if we want to introduce someone to this and actually run a test on them, what's the first step we would do? Would we just do the vital on someone? Would we do a comprehensive on someone, like with our clients?
If I were in your position, and this is something that I do with my iridology clients, is the first thing that I do is I go ahead and run an inner voice on them. Then I run the vitals, and then I do the comprehensive. And I will tell you this, on the comprehensive, we have two different comprehensive scans. What I do want to explain to you guys is that the combined is actually going to mark everything in that list that the body is actually needing to be scanned and optimized. The custom is the Big Daddy comprehensive scan, and it marks everything to be scanned in that list. And it takes about five minutes or so to run that full comprehensive. The full comprehensive is not something that you want to do on a maybe once every 6 to 12 months.
And why is that?
Because it takes the body time to find that homeostasis again. So it's pretty intense. When we first got our scanners, all we had was inner voice vitals and the comprehensive was just one comprehensive. When he first started bringing this to the public, he didn't have it. I just had him on the phone. So the words he used was he did not have it not calibrated, but he didn't have it turned up in such a way that it would, how do I even put this without making everybody think, oh God. When we first got our devices, because basically when he started this, everything was on the big $35,000 body analyzer. Okay, so then when he switched it over to the mobile device and started building the app for that with the engineers, they were very careful about putting the full intensity of the scans out there for the general public, because he needed to make sure that everybody understood frequencies. They began to learn about it, people that didn't know about it. But a lot of our people that are in this business are frequency workers, and they understand it. But we still do have some just regular people that are using it that really don't understand frequencies very well. So he had to be extremely careful about putting the same amount of effectiveness from the big analyzer, throwing it into the app. He couldn't do that, because if he set that loose on the general public, they would all come back and go, what is, they'd have Herxheimer reactions, because people are just using them every day, so now he dialed down everything. That's probably a good word. He dialed down everything when he first released it. Now, as it starts to get more advanced, he's changing things, and the engineers are working to be able to bring us the full efficacy of this frequency device. So one of the things that just recently came up with our new vitals, you notice that we have the old view, and we have the classic view, and then we have the new advanced view. Well, the new
I saw something about that.
The new advanced view is scaring people to death. And he let me know this morning when I was on the phone with him, because I reached out to him. I said, Lauren, I said, there's a lot of talk and word. People are scared they don't like the new enhanced view. They wish that we'd go back to the classic view, and even the classic view is showing a lot more reds. What's going on? This is what he told me. In the classic view, a 7 and a 3 on this scale was actually in range. The 7 and 3 now is actually been moved out of range where it's supposed to be. So when we're looking at these reports, it's appearing that we look worse than we were when we started with these devices, but it's not that. It's actually, he's going in deeper with this, and he's actually allowing the technology to do what it's designed to do. So when we see anything from a 7, 8, 9, or a 3, 2, and 1, then we know we are out of range, and we've got to make some changes, lifestyle changes, dietary changes, whatever it is. We've got to start altering those areas to see the improvement. So this is an education tool to help us do that. It's going to let us know how the body frequencies are vibrating and letting us know what areas are out of range and in range. And what does that mean? You know, a lot of times people ask, well, how do I decipher if I'm low or high? And we can go by the grid system and look at that document that they just put out and kind of put 2 and 2 together. And as practitioners, you can do that. You know how to put those things together. One of the things I like to share with my people and all of my, the clients that I have, when I'm going through this, I always let them know you want 5s everywhere. That's ideal. And if you have a 5, a 6, or a 4, you're doing pretty good, but anything outside of that, you are out of range. So out of range, meaning, are we moving into an acute issue or are we moving into a more chronic issue? That's the question. And that's what you're going to have to discuss with your patients. You want to start doing a tracking of probably, if I were in your position as a chiropractor or someone like that, I would actually probably do like the easy scan for a week at a time, just to kind of get a good picture of where these people are sitting in their health. That's what I've started doing. And when I do that, I actually take their scan, and in the reports or in the emails, you also get a Excel spreadsheet so that you can start tracking all the results. I would say to do that for about a good week, so you can see the trends that keep showing up on these people's vital scan or comprehensive. Then you can dial down and know exactly where you need to help that patient. So that's what I would do in your position, but you guys are going to know exactly what you need to do once you start using this on a regular basis. My practice has been always, I just had a phone call with somebody that's been using the device for 11 months now. She's not had any changes. And I said, well, I asked her what she had going on. She's got CRP that's going on. And of course, I'm very medical. I'm very much aware of the, things that are associated with that. So I did some questioning. I asked about her diet and her lifestyle. I dug a little deeper, found out what the root causes were. Well, it come to find out, it's probably an old injury that has escalated this and caused problems for her. So then in talking with her, I asked her, how does she use the scanner? How, is she using the bone conductors when she does scan? Does she do the inner voice? How often does she do the inner voice? Has she put her supplements in? Is she looking at the homeopathics? Is she taking the supplements and the homeopathics that the scanner suggests? Are you muscle testing and asking your body if there's anything else that you need to do? Are you looking at the inner voice reports and taking some of those suggestions? Because in the inner voice report, it will give you suggestions on things that you need to do and change. In talking with her, she does the inner voice maybe once a day. She does the easy scan maybe 3 times a week. And I said, well, let me tell you this, with the easy scan, you can do it up to 3 times a day because it's a very gentle scan and it's going to actually help to re-educate that body a lot quicker than just doing the vitals maybe once a week. The vitals are great. It's really going to tell you the things that you need. And it's going to show things a little bit more detailed as to what's out. And as a practitioner, I would probably do the vitals on somebody once every couple of weeks and the full comprehensive on somebody once every couple of weeks. And when I say the full comprehensive, I mean the complete one. I'm not saying the big daddy one. I'm not saying this custom one, the combined. They keep changing the names on me. So when you do the combined, it actually marks everything that the body analyzed with the inner voice, and then doing the vitals. Then the comprehensive says, okay, these are the items that actually need attention. But as a practitioner, if you know that this person is also having a hip issue, go ahead and mark the hip issue. Add it. Go ahead and do that. If you know they're having lung issues or maybe they're having spinal issues, go ahead and mark the spine and add it to to the list to be scanned. It's okay to do that. Or you can jump down to the, the custom scan, and you can customize whatever it is that you're wanting to, really hone in on and check for that patient.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, I know I have some learning curves to get through on this.
I've been doing this for a year and a couple of months now, and I have followed the company to a T. I've never missed a company call. I'm going to tell you that's the key, is to not miss a company call, because that's where they give all the nuggets.
And when do they have those? Like
they
weekly
have those
or
every
monthly?
Wednesday night, and they start at I think it's
6:30 Mountain Time.
Mountain Time. Yeah.
Okay.
It's 7:30 my time, but and then if you can't make the call, jump on the YouTube channel, go to Solex and subscribe to them, and make sure you ring your little bell so that that they're doing. But all the videos are housed right here, and you
Okay.
go in here, and maybe you certain videos that you're looking for, you can go in here and kind of really do that and see. And then even if you do pick one, you can look at the menus to see, well, what were they talking about? So everything is right there. And then we also have things in our back office. So just know that all the resources are here. I'll log into my back office real quick, and I'll kind of touch base and show you a little bit of where
I do have a question on this. Like, I just ran a comprehensive scan on myself while we were talking. And it has like previous scan and current scan. I don't think Chris is one that said something about the percent from ideal. So just like my right gastroepiploic artery said previous scan was at a 2. And current scan is at a 9.
Okay. So what happens with this? Let me just kind of touch base with you guys on this.
Okay.
This is the previous scan is actually the first part of the scan. It's where it's actually doing the biofeedback. The current scan is when we've optimized, when we've used those frequencies. So there's 2 parts to each scan, that. So that's what that previous means, and then the current means. I really wish that they would either do baseline as a name, and then I've talked to. Of
course, I was thinking like the previous scan we've had before.
Right.
So it was a 2. So on mine, it would have been a 2 when it was scanning for the baseline, and then after optimizing, it went all the way up to a 9.
So what happens, Cindy, is this is the best way I know how to explain it, because one of my practitioners is my mentor, and she's had this device for 12 years in her office. She's a naturopath doctor. So when you think of, you started, like, let's say you started at a 5 and you jump to a 7 or an 8, and you go, oh my gosh, what happened? What caused that? Think of when your blood cells are going through your veins, and if they're all clumped together. And the best way I know how to explain this is, say you're going down a lazy river and there's a whole bunch of people holding on to inner tubes, and y'all are all holding hands and you're all bunched together. The water's only going to go around the areas, or the frequencies are only going to go around the areas that it can get to. So if your blood is all clumped together and going through your veins, and then all of a sudden we throw those optimized frequencies in there, it breaks the blood up. And it kind of goes, oh, okay, now here's where the issues are. So it's basically saying you might have been at a 5, but it's because we couldn't really reach to actually do an analysis, so to speak, until the blood was broken apart and the cells were broken apart. And now the frequencies have gone in there, and now it's reading, okay, oh, well, we're not vibrating as high as we thought we were. So that is an area you kind of want to track. But when I look at the comprehensive, and also whenever this practitioner looks at the comprehensive, and I've learned from her, and I've got a doctor that I learned from, and I also have a naturopath that I've been learning from. And Dr. Charles is in our upline. He is a doctor. He runs a school of natural medicine, and he's amazing. So what he has explained to us in this report is that when you're looking at this side and you see something that starts at anything above like 55 up to 70s and 80s, that's a red flag. You need to look at that area with your client or your patient. One of the examples I can give you is my son, my older son, he's 27. He called me, he said, Mom, my heart is giving me some flutters, and he's not overweight. He's very fit. He owns his own business. He doesn't eat the best. So I said, well, Skylar, let me scan you. So I scanned him, and all the heart, everything was above 70. I was like, what in the world are you doing? He goes, well, could it be those monster drinks I'm drinking every day and several a day? And I went, oh my gosh, son. I said, you've got to stop drinking that stuff. I said, and then, let's scan you in about a week. So I was so proud of him. He completely trashed the monsters that he had in the refrigerator. He switched to, I got him some Redmond Farms Relight. It's kind of like a electrolyte drink that's got natural Himalayan salts in it and minerals. And I said, I think you're going to do a lot better on this, because basically he's drinking to replenish the fluids, because he's construction. He owns his own woodworking business. So he's outside a lot. And so anyway, I switched him to that. He got off the monsters, and now his heart is now reading in the 30s. So anytime you see something that starts in like anything above 55 or 60, and, even if it's in the 70, 75 range, that you need to look at that. And even if it drops down or if it goes up, you need to watch it. You need to really pay attention to those. But the ideal thing that we want is we want to see a high number over here, and then we want to see a lower number over here. We want to be closest to 0%. I've not seen very many 0%. I have seen it a couple of times with my mom's scans. She'll start over here at like 10 or 12, and she'll go all the way down to 0 over here. So she's been doing a lot of hard work, and I've been working a lot with her. So she's getting a lot of improvements. So those are the things that you do want to look at on these reports. Anything that's, above a 50, you really want to pay attention to those items with your clients.
Okay.
And then also on the comprehensive, while I'm here, anything that has this little body image, I don't know if you guys have seen this, but so you notice that this section does not have a little body image, but this section does. So you can click on the word if it has a body. You can click on the word, it hones in and gives you a 3D view of that area within the body. So this is, and then you can swirl it around. You can add the different body systems, the brain, the tissue, the bones, all of that back to it. This is just to kind of help educate your patients. They may not know where, a gallbladder is. God forbid they don't know that, but say they don't know where their gallbladder is, you can actually show them on a 3D image. Well, here's where your gallbladder is located, or your esophagus, or whatever. And this is what it looks like. It's not their actual gallbladder. It's not an ultrasound device, but what it is showing is an area of where that is located, especially with the vessels, the veins, the arteries. A lot of people want to know exactly where that is because they don't know where those locations are. So anything that has that, you can pretty much, highlight the word, and it'll bring up that body image.
Hey, Tammy.
Yeah.
Question. So this one that you have up now, is this the easy? Which scan is this one?
This is actually the comprehensive, and it's my last one that I ran on myself, and it's the combined. I just jumped in there. The easy scan, my last one, is up here. You can go to the reports here.
Yes, because with the easy scan, that's the one I run the most. When I have them click on the sides, like click on the different, let's say it says your basophils or your HDL, it gives a little description. Yeah. But then if I do the body scan and I try to have them click, nothing happens. Which ones have the information and which ones have the actual pictures?
Okay, so the comprehensive is the one that's going to have the 3D views. The vitals are the ones that's going to have the descriptions if they're complete. If they're not complete, let me show you a website. And I try to make this available to to everybody, but this website is our beginning. It's been with the company forever. And this, you can actually go into the Explore tab. And so say there's something like comprehensive is, no, I think it's the vitals one. Sorry. The vitals one is one that everybody really likes because they don't know what those, when you get down into the, I think it's in this here.
What is the website? I can't see it.
It is, I'm sorry, I'll put it in the chat.
It's like aoscan.com/explore.
But you can go in here, and if there's something on our scans that you don't understand, you can go in here and do some research, and it will actually spell out everything that's not complete in our scanners. So when I told you that, you could click on a word and it will actually tell you what it is. If it's not complete in here in the scanner, you can go to that website and look it up.
Okay, and are we the ones who have access to that, or is that something
Everybody
that also
has access?
Oh, perfect. Okay. And then with I'm not sure because I've been doing easy scan and body systems because it's just kind of easy flow for me. I don't know if you guys already went over that, but do you, they don't really have a lot of training on the body systems or something of that nature, if I'm not mistaken.
And the
Go
reason why is it's still in preview. We're not finished with it. So
okay.
they're still making advancements in it, and it's not complete. Yes, that actually came out in September at our day of discovery, and they're still not done with it. So they released it, I think, prematurely, but and I think the reason why they released it is because we had an influx of body code and emotion code practitioners come in, and they already knew that this was an option that they could bring out, but they went ahead and brought it out for them. Because when you look at that, a lot of people go, well, what does that mean? I don't know what that means. And then they also updated, they just gave us this update, the suggestions and the potential causes. So this is amazing. But
I love it.
I know that they're improving, guys. So when you see something undone or it's not working properly, give it some patience because we are brand new. We're just a year. We're not even a year old yet. January 20th will be our 1-year anniversary of launching this to the public. So give it some grace because Lauren's heart is completely in this thing and he wants it only to be better. One of the things that he brought out to me this morning, because it's scaring the crap out of most people, is the vitals. The new vitals enhanced reports. Everybody's saying, whoa, I look so much worse than I used to. And what he wanted me to tell everybody on the team is that you're not looking worse. It's actually, they've removed the 7 and the 3 from being in range to being out of range. So it's becoming more detailed as to where the potential issues and problems are coming from with people. So yeah, it does make it look like you're a little bit worse, but those are just areas you need to work on. So don't get scared about it. Just realize, hey, that's an area I really need to look at.
That's so good that you said that because just yesterday I did a rescan on someone and she was like, oh my gosh, I look terrible.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, well, give me a moment. And it literally, as soon as that happened, I got that information. I don't know who it was from, but yeah, I got that information. Might have been from one of the videos. And literally I was able to explain that to her. But at first I was like, oh goodness, what do I do? What do I do?
And this is just a word of caution. If you have people that really don't understand frequencies or how this works, I would just email them the classic view. I wouldn't send them this. This view, I think, is for the doctor or the practitioner or somebody that really understands frequencies and how it works in the body. I would literally just do the classic view, even though that looks bad too. At least they can just hone in on where the double reds are, because it's the double reds we want to pay attention to. And anything that you had maybe that was green, like this one that was green and went to red, that's just an improvement that's trying to happen. So just kind of watch it over time. And it could have been something that I ate that day that caused that to be, I was in balance. And then maybe, you know, I scanned myself and it was after lunch or something. And now, whoa, okay, you took in a lot of fat, you know, or something like that. So, you know, really, when you're doing your scans, I always tell my people, and even, you know, anybody that signs up under me and they just want to do it for personal use, try to do your easy scan on a fasting cycle. You know, when you haven't had any coffee or tea, or you haven't had any food, try to do that first thing in the morning. Those are going to be your truest scans. And then if you're doing the easy scan 3 times a day, like I do a lot of times, just know that your afternoon's going to look a lot different from your evening or your morning, because we've had a lot of things happen to us throughout the day. We've taken in different things. We breathed certain air. We've drank certain water. We've taken in toxins. So it's going to look different, but the ebb and flow of frequencies is constantly changing. So it's not something that's totally set in stone, but when you're doing scans and you're tracking them and stuff keeps showing up, that is where your focus needs to be with your patients.
I have a question about that. So when you are scanning your clients and you're tracking it, how are you printing?
I don't ever print. But there are people that say that they can print. I can find out how they're doing it and reach out to you and let you know how they're doing it. But I don't ever print. My mom scans. Let me see if I can pull hers up, because
Tammy, I'm going to have to go. Are you going to post the link to this recording in the?
I'll send it to you.
Okay.
I'll send it.
Okay. Thanks. Bye, ladies.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye.
Hope you feel better.
Thank you.
Because whenever you email these to, you know, your reports to you, let's see if I can find my mom's real quick. And hers are behind because I've been so busy, but let's see if I can find. I'm so unorganized in my documents. See if I can find the vitals. There it is. Maybe. I don't know if this is her saved stuff, but you know that you can actually attach. Yeah, this is my mom's. It's not her save. I've got them somewhere, and I don't know where to find them when I'm on Zoom. But say this is, you know, today's scan, then tomorrow's scan, you can actually copy and paste the results and attach it to this scan. That way you can start to see the trends. Does that help?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
That's huge. Okay.
That would be good.
And if I could show you what I've been doing with my mom, it would probably make more sense. But I basically just enable editing. And if you know, if I have these two, I just copy and paste them and then add it to the prior one, and then I just track it.
Okay, that's
that's
really huge.
I only do it for about a week's time, because it gets to where, how do you look at all that and how do you print all that? It's overwhelming. So I do a week at a time and just kind of see. Something that I do with some of my clients, and I don't know if this will help, but we do the easy scan every day, regardless, is what I do with my clients, or we're doing the inner voice. I have a lot of clients that just want to do the inner voice, and I honestly just charge $50 a month, and we do an inner voice on a daily basis. So you get 3 people and that pays for your subscription. It's no brainer.
So you have them send a recording of their voice every day?
Every
day.
Yep. And it really doesn't matter what time, because it literally takes me 30 seconds or less to log in, say, okay, I ran your scan, I've sent your report, have a beautiful day, talk to you tomorrow, whatever, and we're done. And I've got about probably 17 to 20 people that send me their voice recording every morning. Some of them send it to me a little later in the day, but it really doesn't take much time for me to just log in and, you know, run that scan and send it to them. And then they listen to their tones on a daily basis, sometimes multiple times a day.
Now, if you run Cephies on a client or a patient, how are you charging that?
I started charging by, if they wanted 30 minutes of a playlist, I would charge $30. If they wanted 60 minutes, I would charge 60 minutes, because nobody has this technology, and it's tying up your device.
Yes.
So that's what I do. And if it's 90 minutes, $90. I mean, and I'm very fair with people. If I'm not working on somebody and they've only paid me for 30 minutes, I'll run it for 45 minutes, you know. But typically I like to muscle test and ask, how much does the body need? You know, and if I get 30 minutes, I just tell them your body only wants 30 minutes, or your body only wants 15 minutes. And this is what I charge. I charge $1 a minute. So
would you do a custom playlist and send all of it at once, or continuous and then 30 minutes?
Yeah, just broadcast it for 30 minutes, set a timer somewhere, and just set your device aside.
Gotcha. Okay.
Because you can't send the frequencies to them to listen, and they don't need to listen to them. You just broadcast it, just, you know.
So you find you get better results when you do it that way versus just sending the 2-minute broadcast?
Yes. 2-minute broadcast honestly is good for like animals or small children, people that are not as in tune to frequencies and can't seem to process them as much. I've even worked with autistic children that they're very in tune with frequencies. Some of them are. And I've had it where it becomes very uncomfortable with a child to do it longer than a couple of minutes. They're just too sensitive to frequencies.
Would you then send it maybe twice a day or once a day?
Good.
Okay. Because I had a case when I first started getting, playing around with this just to see what's going to happen with it, a patient, and I sent 2-minute broadcasts twice a day for like 3 days and had miraculous results with this person.
I am finding that the people that respond very well, they're open to frequencies and they are very eager to get well. So the ones that respond well to the 2 minutes, to the, maybe 10 minutes, 30 minutes or so, you see miraculous changes with them. So yeah, do what you intuitively know to do as a doctor, just do that with your patients. I think you're going to find great success with it. I'm not a doctor. All I am is an iridologist, but I've been an iridologist for 31 years and I love what I do, but I'm able, and I love the body and I love how it works. And I've been around chiropractic for, and that's what saved my son's life. So thanks to you guys for what you do. Anyway, the inner voice has been an extreme thing to help shift your clients or your patient's life. If they will commit to doing a 30-day challenge with you guys, with the inner voice, if you can carve out time to do that with a patient, they're going to see greater results with that and want to buy one of these devices if they'll do a 30-day challenge with you.
Okay.
And it's really, it's great to have this as in your guys' offices and do this with your clients, but it's even better if you can empower your clients to have one and be able to do this on a daily basis with themselves, because they're going to see bigger changes that way than just coming in and maybe getting a scan once every couple of, weeks or a month or whatever. And that's even good too, but ideally you would like to have it in their hand.
They just don't understand how to read it, what they're looking at. It's very overwhelming for them. That's what I've seen.
And that's where you can come in and say, you know what, don't read your scans, just scan optimize. And then after about a week, send me one scan. I'll take a look at it. We can do a protocol to kind of help you. You can do like a monthly protocol with them that, hey, I'm going to look at your scans, for maybe a couple of days at a time and kind of take a look at those, or have them send you their scans for like a 7-day period. And then you can go over them, read them, and then decide, okay, well, we're going to do a protocol for 6 to 8 weeks and then rescan them, or have them send you scans in 6 to 8 weeks. And you can do that again and charge them to read their scans. We have practitioners that are I charge, $50 to look at just one vital scan. That's just to look at it and to analyze it and tell them what my thoughts and suggestions are and what could work for them. And then we have a naturopath that she charges $300 to do the vitals and the comprehensive, read the scans. She does a complete workup with them, sends them out the door with what, supplements and things that they should be taking, and what dietary changes that they should be doing. So charge for that. You guys are well educated. You have that, that for under your belt, so to speak. So don't be afraid to do that, because we have several practitioners that have been doing this for the last 10 years and charging upwards to $200-300 to read scans and give protocols to patients.
That's good to know, because that's where I'm horrible at, is finding out what I need to charge.
Yeah.
And I'm always leading with my heart.
Yeah, me too. Go ahead, Dr. Kayla.
Yeah, we were just talking about that, and I was saying that one of the previous bioenergetic testing facilities that we were using, they would charge, I think now they're charging $399. Yeah. And I was like, we have this technology that's so amazing that we can do like right now. We don't have to wait for the results. So why not charge that, or, more within reason, depending on where you live. But yeah, why not charge that? Because you're giving so much more than we could even give before with the testing we were using before.
Absolutely. And we've got tons of ones that are doing just like Carissa brought out, is that, what if we sent broadcast frequencies to them? We have practitioners that will do that, and they charge a pretty hefty price, but they're getting results with their patients. So if you can get your patients to believe in this and to commit to it, you're going to see big changes with them. And I mean, if y'all have seen my mother's story, that should tell you enough of what this device can do.
What is your Facebook group? Am I part of that?
It's the AO Scan for Life. Is for anybody that you want to invite, like even potentials. But then I also have the AO. Let me see if I can pull it up and show you what it looks like. It's this one. This is for my actual distributors and QLAs. So
okay, that one I think I'm part of. I just don't think I'm part of the other one.
Yeah. The AO Scan for Life is anybody you want to bring in, and we monitor this very heavily, Scott and I do. And as it grows, I'm going to add moderators to it. But this is where, if because with network marketing, we have to be extremely careful with, letting certain other team members into certain groups, because they'll come in and they'll swipe your potential prospects away. So this is only for my team members, the AO Scan for Life. And so if I put something in there and it interests, and these are for people that don't own a scanner, and if I put something in there and they're interested in that, and if they tag you, I'm going to reach out to you and say, hey, did you see that they want to know more information about the Pets Plus? Because I just posted about that. And then that way it's kind of a way to bring people in and get them interested. And then if they're interested, then they'll reach out to their referrer. And if I find that anybody comes in there and they're taking different people's prospects, they get banned from the group. So I'm not hateful about anything. I'm very watchful, because, I've just had too many people that they just don't even want to do network marketing for that reason.
Right.
There's no reason for it, honestly. But
sorry to jump around and ask questions, but okay. You were talking about the spaces and objects, and you were doing you were running, I think, a continuous. And how often are you running that? Are you doing that every day for that horse?
On the horse, what I was doing is I was getting with Wendy and saying, okay, what seems to be the issues with him today? And he's improved greatly, so I'm not having to run very much on him at all. We figured out that it was actually she was adding some sort of mineral into his food, and he has a sensitivity to oats, and you know how horses love oats. Well, she was giving him oats. So she took the oats away, and then she also found out that one of the minerals or one of the vitamins in it or something that she was giving him had another sensitivity that was on his list when we did the scan for him. And so she removed that, and this lung issue just seemed to just clear right up. I mean,
That's
he was having
amazing.
snot, he was coughing, she was nebulizing him about every couple 2 to 3 days. But then once we started doing the Cephis and scanning him, I scanned him probably every 3rd day under the pets thing, but I've not had to do anything with him anymore. So she hasn't reached out and said, hey, can you do this?
That's awesome. And do you know if they're going to be adding the toxicities to the PET scan? So we have like the allergens, the environmental, and food, but we don't have like bacteria, parasites, viruses,
We don't.
mold. It doesn't show it under the pets. It stops under heavy metal.
That's a good question. I hadn't even noticed that. Human toxins, minerals, heavy. You're right.
Because that would be very helpful. Because if
Ask Lauren.
Yeah, especially the parasites.
Yeah. I have a feeling they will, only because I've had several phone calls with Lauren, and he's let me know that, and this is kind of exciting, I can tell you guys, but there is a veterinarian. He's a very well-known veterinarian in the Dallas, Texas area, and he has a radio talk show. And he told me his name, but please forgive me. I can't remember. I think it's Kevin something. Anyway, he's very well known in the Dallas, Texas area. And they're using him. They've been using him for the last, I think, 3 to 4 months now to use the scanner on all the animals that come into the vet clinic. And Lauren called me after we released the pet scan to everybody. He called me the next day. He goes, Tammy, I got something exciting to share with you. And I said, oh, good. So he told me this veterinarian had a dog that had already been diagnosed with cancer, and it was in his leg. It was bone cancer. And the veterinarian told him, Lauren, when I ran the scan on this dog, had I never diagnosed this animal, the scan results would have told me precisely what I already know about this animal and the cancer he has. So the point being, the FDA does not control or regulate anything with pets. So if we can obtain all the data with all the pet scans, it's going to really help people to put confidence in knowing that with the human scans, we're gonna have the same information. We do have the same information. So one of the stories that I can tell you about somebody that we scanned back in November of last year, it was a young woman, and I think you guys will really appreciate this. She was a young mother with 2 children. Her children were, I think, 6 and 11 at the time. This was last year. One of my team members, she's not medically inclined at all. She just loves the scanner and she uses it, and she's building a little business with it. But she called me and she says, Tammy, I just scanned this gal, and there's a lot of double reds in the vessels and the veins in the head area. And this particular person is actually having some problems in her head area, and she's been to several doctors. Nobody can figure out what's going on with her. And she sent me the scan. And because I've got a lot in my medical background, I don't need to go into all of it, but I'll let you know, I've even done medical coding, and I've studied quite a bit with chiropractors and naturopaths and homeopaths. And so I'm very well versed with the body and feel like I do pretty good, but I'm not on y'all's level. So anyway, just to tell you that when she sent me her scan and the numbers that I saw on her comprehensive in the areas that I saw it, I told my friend, I said, you need to tell her she needs to go see either a neurologist, or she needs to see somebody that can do some sort of a CT scan or an MRI on her brain. I said, I'm not a doctor. I don't claim to be a doctor, but I'm telling you, there's something here that is a red flag to me, because even her numbers in that area, I think were 83 at the time, 83% is where it started. So after a couple of months, it took about 6 weeks, if I can remember right. She finally went to a neurologist that agreed to do a CT scan with dye on her brain area. And it gets me. Anyway, she found out that this woman had an aneurysm in her brain, and it was on the left side of her head where she was having all these issues and these vision disturbances. And a doctor told her that she had a detached retina starting because it's something that happens in her family. And she says, no, I know that that's not what this is. I didn't understand that. My phone's anyway, she goes, no, I know that that's not what's going on. I think there's something else, because I have these times where I'm a little dizzy, I'm off kilter. And she's young, she's in her 30s, and anyway, so that she finally got this doctor to do, and now she ended up having to have that aneurysm removed, but she's fine today. She owns a scanner now. But I was just like, and whenever I went to Utah for the first time and I met with Lauren, I actually brought that story to him. It dropped him to his knees too, and he started crying. He goes, this is incredible. He said, I love this technology. He goes, and if I can get everybody to realize the power that's in these reports and understanding how to read them, we can help so many people. I mean, it's not a diagnostic tool. We don't want it to be that. We want to keep it out of the hands of the FDA, but it's incredible the information you can gather from the reports and know how to help your patients and your clients, and then they can reach out and get that additional testing, whatever it is, so that they can get some help. So I think what you guys hold in your hand is only going to get better, and it's only gotten better since I started. When I first started, I can tell you, I wanted to throw the darn thing out the window. I don't know how many times, because we had so many glitches. We would be down for a day. We couldn't run the scans. So we have come a long way, and Lauren's heart is totally in this, and he wants everybody in the world to have it. So it's just a beautiful thing. So
thank you so much for all of this information, Tammy. This is awesome stuff. And some of the testimonies that I've seen have already made me cry when it comes to the kids and things of that nature. I mean, I just burst out every time, every single time. I can't even help it. But
I had a little boy that I started scanning. He was 13 years old, and he had Bidell. I'm going to butcher this. It's Bidell's syndrome or something, and it basically makes they kind of have autistic qualities to them. They have speech issues, and this syndrome has basically taken the vision of this little boy. And so I offered to this mom, because kids are my passion. My son was birth trauma and vacuum extracted, and I can tell you the whole story, and if it wasn't for a chiropractor, he wouldn't be here today. So if y'all know Dr. Bobby Doscher out of Oklahoma City, then you know who I'm talking about. Anyway, she was the one that was responsible for getting Tristan back his life. But kids are just my passion, and it's like when I saw this mom and this little boy struggling so much, and I was like, can I please just scan him for, do you know about, she goes, oh my God, yes, please. So I scanned, and then they were able to save up the money and get the device. And this child has had such huge improvements. It's just phenomenal. The teachers are like, what are y'all doing? Because he's doing his math. He's sociable now. And he's, we feel like he's starting to be able to see or sense things a little bit better. So it's like, oh, this is amazing. So we have a beautiful device.
We do.
Is there anything else I can share that I can teach you guys on the actual device that you don't know?
I'm sure there's a lot of things on the device that would be so helpful to know. But I have some questions about supplementation. So you said to run it for about a week, see a trend. So you're doing that before you recommend any supplementation, and they're actually taking the supplementation. You're not doing imprinting of frequency.
You still have to take the supplements. You can't just do it energetically. Adding the energetic component to it is just going to help the body recognize that frequency and absorb it better. So if you can do both, you're just helping your client even more. Does that make sense?
Totally. Yes.
So-
And so what do you charge your patients to imprint?
To imprint, it's anywhere. If I send them a bottle of imprinted homeopathics that we get from Energy or from Solex, I will charge a $30 fee to do a playlist of up to 10 different frequencies. And then I mail it to them. And I don't tip, it's just $30 flat rate. Because these cost us, I think, $3 a bottle. And then the time to imprint is not very much time. So it's really, my time is involved in shipping it and, you know, doing that business, but come up with your own. I mean, if you feel like you need to do something different, you can.
And that's a foil lined box that it's in?
It
Okay,
is.
so you can just mail that in an envelope and
I
perfect.
do them in the bubble packs, but I also go ahead and put heavy duty foil around the box just as an extra protection to my clients, because I just don't know about postal systems and stuff like that. I'd rather it be safe than not.
So like aluminum foil, heavy duty? Okay.
Yeah.
That's pretty cheap to get.
It is. And I'll just wrap that box a couple times, throw it in a bubble pack and send it to the client. And then, you know, honestly, if they had their own scanner, I mean, you could erase this and re-imprint it over and over, but that would be costly sending it back and forth in the mail. But that is something that you want to encourage your clients. Hey, you can do this for yourself and, you know, save a lot of money, you know, and that will really free up your time, but that is something you can do. Yes.
I was going to try to find a way to let them know about, like, make it seem like there's an eco-friendly or recycle program that I do. So that way if they keep the bottle and the actual container, then it'll be like a discounted price versus if they just throw it away or chuck it when they're done. That way they can keep reusing it.
Yep.
But there's so much to learn.
That's what I do, because I actually keep the bigger bottle of the refillable. And I tell a lot of my people that I work with are pretty local. So I'll just tell them, keep that little bottle, keep your little box. And if the box wears out, just wrap it in foil, you know, just to keep that homeopathic safe.
Okay. Yeah, there's so much to learn about that part. So I'm glad you brought that up, Krista, because we were looking at the supplementation stuff. With our old testing, we're used to them. They'll test the client and then they'll send us several homeopathics that they said resonated with the body and blah, blah, blah. With this one, is it more intuitive in terms of looking at what's going on with them, maybe their case history, looking at what came up on the scan, and then creating several frequency playlists to imprint into it? Is that more so what we would do with this program?
You could do either way. One of the things that I don't know if you guys, when you go in here to your supplement library, you do know that the homeopathics are right here, correct? These are all the homeopathics that are loaded in the actual scanner. And in order to add that to a client, you have to click every single one of these and then go down to the bottom and add it to the client.
But you have to individually click it, right? There's not a select all.
There's not a select all. I put in word to Lauren and everybody's, can y'all put a select all on these lists?
Yes.
I noticed that. I was clicking all of them and I got a few. So basically you can take all of those, and each person that you have in the system, you would just have to then not select all, but select them yourself and then put it in their catalog.
Yep.
Okay, good. That's what I was missing.
Yeah, you put it under their deal. And the trick to this, and a lot of people don't know this, but it's something that I do. And once you go to this quick scan, all the homeopathics are listed under general. So when you look at my supplement list, I've done mine completely different. I have all my therapies in here. I have all of my supplements listed. You know, if I take them in the morning, the ones I do in the morning. And if you'll notice, when I go down here to general, let's see if here it is, general, that's where all the homeopathics are at. So they're
Mhm.
always going to be listed under the general tab. So I'm going to tell you this. If you're wanting to test a client, would be what I would do is I would go to this quick scan. And if you're seeing them morning, midday, or evening, or whatever time frame it is, I would go in here and I wouldn't click any of these supplements at all. I would just go down here and click the general, run their voice, and see what homeopathics pop up.
Okay.
And then
Okay.
muscle test and say, does this person need to take this homeopathic for, 2 days, 5 days, 3 days, whatever, and how many times a day do they need to take it? And that will give you a baseline on what you can do to help, these people. So if I just go in here, I'll just kind of show you an example. So I've just clicked that. So if I talk now, this is not going to be great or accurate because you want to be using your bone conducting headset while you're doing this. And you always want to have the patient or the client start off by saying, I am. So these are the top homeopathics that came up for me. So, and I know that the Candida one is correct because I just killed out everything in my system with that oregano oil that I was taking. And some of this other stuff is just like, oh, it makes total sense to me. And we actually were somewhere yesterday where we were exposed to cigarette smoke. So that just totally makes sense. And the mold and fungus detox, I don't know where that's coming from, but this would be a great way to find out, hey, well, what are the top homeopaths that would be great for this client at this time? Now, of course, if you did this and, an hour later, you're going to get a completely different list.
Yeah,
So just be aware of that. You're going to have ebb and flows, but if you're going to build a protocol for a client and work with something, you can still do it this way. There's no harm in it because then the body only uses homeopathically what it needs. The same way with frequencies. So you don't have to really be too concerned about that.
Yeah, because when I heard, I think it was Lauren talking about that in one of the weekly things, and it kind of made me question actually the old system that I was using, because if you, in that instant, in the testing that we were doing, if you're scanning somebody at one point and then giving them homeopathics to take for months, they may or may not necessarily need those for those months, you know what I mean? And they may not know how to muscle test to figure out what they do need or don't need. So it kind of made me question that, and it made me feel like I don't necessarily have to do it that way. I can kind of adopt a new way of doing it.
And you're going to know what's right for your clients. Once you start doing these little fun testings with people, you're going to quickly figure out what is right and what isn't right according to what their needs are. And honestly, with you guys having big supplement lists, you could actually, start adding, you could add supplements into your supplement library, that stuff that you don't even take, just so that you can add it to a client's library. Does that make sense? So if you carry all of standard process, put them in your device, then add them to your clients, and then you can test and find out, hey, well, is this client going to do well with, the superfood from standard process, or would they do better with something else? So figure those things out and just go ahead and add them to your libraries. You guys have the opportunity to have massive libraries, with what you do. So try it. And then when you go in, you can do the same thing. You can, on the easy scan, let me show you a new trick that I just discovered. Because honestly, what I was doing is I was doing the quick scan every morning to figure out what supplements I needed. Because what I was doing was I was going in here and I was clicking on my supplements and leaving the general out. Okay. Because I never could get it to work right. Well, they fixed something in here and it's kind of helped. So I really love it now. But before, I was doing the quick scan in the morning to find out what supplements I needed. And then I did the easy scan. And the only thing that showed up in my easy scan was my homeopathics. So then I would, imprint my homeopathics and take them after I did my easy scan. And then after I did my quick scan, I'd go take my supplements for the day and I was done. Well, now the easy scan, let me show you. If you click show all right here, there's all your supplements and your homeopathics. Everything is listed there. But I do want to give you a word of caution. When you're doing your supplements and therapies, when you open this up, let me go to somebody that doesn't have anything in here, because you'll see what I'm talking about. I'm such a visual that I want you guys to see what I'm talking about. So I'm gonna pull my grandson up here. So if I go to his supplement library, oh, well, I guess I added the homeopathics to him. So I added the homeopathics to him, so that's no big deal, but he doesn't have any supplements listed. So when you go in here, the first thing you'll see is you're going to have categories: morning, midday, evening therapies in general. Those are your categories that are available to you. But if you noticed, I had categories for Purium, Nature Sunshine, Solex. I named my categories because I wanted to know, I didn't want it just listed under morning, midday, evening therapies or general. So I named each of my categories. So the way you do that to add a category is you do it right here. So say you want to do Nature Sunshine brand. We'll just do that in here. Then it goes ahead and it adds it to your list here. So now it's down here. So say you're going to add a Nature Sunshine. Let's see, let's unclick these. So now you've got it added to your list. So say you're going to add a supplement. You're going, okay, well, it's actually a morning supplement. You would click it here, and then you would say it's vitamin C. I probably didn't spell that right. Anyway, and then you would put, 1,000 milligrams. And you would put the dose amount, and mine is a powder form. So I would put 2 teaspoons, and then you take and you put that powder form of the vitamin C in here. You put it on your scanner, and after you've cleared your shot glass, you want to erase your shot glass every time, and then you lay it on your scanner. And how come I can't see this down here? And then you hit scan, and it will pull the energy from the frequency energy from that vitamin C. And now you want to save it. You want to save it to the list, and then it's going to show up in his list. I'll show you. So we go here, and if we jump down here to morning, you're going to see his vitamin C has been added. Does that help?
So most of mine I left in general because they don't really have like a specific time of day. Is that okay if you just run the scan and you're like, I want to check for all morning, evening, general, but you know that most of yours are in the general category? Does it matter? Because I don't know if any of mine have like you need to do it in the morning or evening. I just want to know when I need to take it.
It would be okay, honestly, Kayla, but if you're wanting to specifically separate some things and just analyze that, you won't be able to do it if it's all under your general tab.
Okay. So yeah, this is a subject actually that in a later time, I would love to actually dive into. Yeah. Because I mean, there's so much with that, that even with the therapies, I'm like, I can't even, do you just even put in, let's say it's acupuncture, you put that in, but do you have to be around the energy of something of that nature? Or do you just kind of like, so you can put it, hey, like I do PEMF therapy. I can put PEMF therapy in there. And then what else would you put as your descriptions and things?
This is all you would do. So you would add it, and it's going to be a therapy. So let's say PEMF, is that what you said?
Yep.
Therapy. And your description would be, is it a full body? Is it just spinal? Is it just concentrated in the head? Be creative.
Yeah. Cool.
So if it's full body, you can even put this in several times. So let's say do full body, and you're going to say 1, and then you're going to say unspecified. You don't have anything to scan. You just save it. That's all you have to do. So then in his therapies, you're going to see PEMF therapy right there. Now, do you want to add, maybe you're going to do PEMF therapy just on the torso? You can add it just on the torso. So you can add, even with your supplements, guys, you can add, because somebody my size is not going to take one capsule of something that's a recommended capsule on a bottle, because recommended on a bottle is typically for about 145, 155 pound person. I'm 300 pounds. So I'm not going to just take one capsule. So put your supplements in various amounts, like, one capsule, 2 capsules, 3 capsules. You can put them in multiple times. And that way, whenever it analyzes, it's going to come up with the right dosage for the person.
Oh yeah, this could be a whole thing. I'm sorry.
It's a whole thing. I'm excited to talk to you about it, because my brain never stops with this device. And I'm like, do you even realize what we have in our hands that you could use to help people with? You can put essential oils in here. You can put food in here. We have people putting food in their scanners.
There's something I've been testing mine. So I'm like, weird things. I'm just like, okay, let me see what we can do. But it seems like, there's so much.
There is. We even, and this is a little kind of funny, but we even have a lady that her and her husband, they have such a busy life that they sometimes forget about each other. They even have, intimate relationship in their scanner as a therapy. And if it comes up on their scanner, they make sure that they have time for themselves.
That's great.
I'm just like, okay, I would have never thought of that, but
I was literally saying to Chris and just saying to someone else that I have a hard time, like, and my significant other knows, like, sometimes I'll go to bed listening to videos just to kind of get a little bit more information. I'm like, but there's always more information. So yeah. And we're actually about to grab something to eat. So I'm going to leave. I literally, everything I'm doing is always looking like you're always getting information about this, all the way up until the moment of going to bed. So I'm going to hop off, but yes, Tammy, thank you so much. And please, if we can set some of these up every once in a while or whatever you're free, this would be awesome. Like, this is, I can't even thank you enough.
You're so welcome. And there's so much more to this that I've just barely scraped the surface with you guys. So you guys are going to be excited the more I delve in to show this to you, but it's hard to cover a lot of things in just an hour.
Right.
I know. That's how I was like, oh my gosh, I have like several more questions, but then I was like, okay, I got to eat today. but at the same time, if we can schedule another one at some time to even kind of go into this part more. I'm learning more every time I scan someone. I'm sure we've been creating, me and Carissa, a Google Doc with questions. Yeah. So we can just kind of like start doing frequently asked questions for clients, and then also get some questions answered for ourselves.
Well, we had that in our back office somewhere, and I'm going to have to ask Shelby where that went, because the frequently asked questions has been something that's been ongoing. And if there's suggestions you guys have for the company, all you have to do is write support@Solex LLC at the email and send in your suggestions. They write down every one of these suggestions.
Yay. Okay.
They're about making us happy.
It seems that way with all the updates and stuff. I literally had just said the other day, and a lot of this stuff is very cool how it actually happens and synchronistic. But I was talking to someone that I scanned, and they were like, well, how do I know if it just has a red or a green, if it's high or low? And then here goes the next day or two, I'm just thinking this, and then I see that there's an update, and I'm like, what? Like, it's telling me now that, so I was able to go back and talk to her about it.
Yes, and it's going to continue to evolve. So you guys stay plugged in, even if it's to me, stay plugged in, because if you don't stay plugged in, you're going to get lost, and then you're going to go, I don't even know how to run this thing anymore. If you can watch each company call, even after the fact, please watch the company calls.
Okay, good. Yeah. Yay. Well, I'll talk to you guys later.
All right.
Bye, Kayla.
Have a good one. Are you done? See you guys. Dr. Supri, are you done as well?
If you have time, I have a couple more questions.
Sure, go for it.
Okay. So I really want to know, you gave a lot of information about different scans and the prices. So thank you for that information. When you are doing a comprehensive scan on somebody, what do you charge for that?
Myself, this has been a rule of thumb for me. If I'm going to do all 3 scans for you, it's $150. And then if you want me to analyze them, I'm going to charge an additional $50 to $75. If you're wanting me to analyze both the vitals and the comprehensive, you need to be charging up there. I typically only analyze the vitals unless I find that this person has a structural or a organ dysfunction or something like that. That's the only time I really look at the comprehensive. If I'm finding that, hey, this person's not getting better and I've been working with them, I've been coaching them on their diet, their lifestyle, their water, whatever it is, and they're not getting any better, then I'll go ahead and look into I'll dig a little deeper and ask some more questions with them, and then look at their comprehensive a little closer and see if there's anything that just kind of stands out to me. And if there is, then I get them referred. I'll refer them to either a chiropractor, a fascia worker, a body code worker, an acupuncturist, somebody, but at least I get them into the hands of somebody that can help them a little bit more aggressively than I can at this point. I am going to school to get my naturopath doctor, but I'm not even close to that right now. So
that's awesome.
But right now, I mean, with the knowledge that I have, at least I do have the knowledge to go, you know what, this is out of my scope and out of my calling. I need to get this person taken care of. And that's, I take that as a great responsibility. So
absolutely.
You just, as a doctor, use your judgment. And if you're, just wanting to get your feet wet on how to do it, don't do such a big, huge, price where the people can't afford it. But at least it will get you into where you can start feeling a little bit more comfortable. And I promise you, phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3 is going to be phenomenal for our learning, because I don't know if you know this, but our university is even backed by the Naturopathic Association of American Naturopathic Association. So anytime you take any of the phase 1, phase 2, or phase 3, that's also CEUs. So
great. Okay.
And they're going to send out certifications for anybody that complete those. Now, phase 1, they said it'll come out December 1st, and it'll be $149. When we were at Day of Discovery, we were able to pay $99 because we were there early to hear about it. So I encourage anybody, if you can get to the Day of Discoveries, then you're going to get the best pricing on everything. But he's not trying to make it where people can't afford it, but he also doesn't want to just throw the information out there and nobody take advantage of it. And, he's putting a value on that so that you will actually get the education. So that is the purpose behind this. And it's always going to be evolving and changing. So
yeah, I love that.
I just absolutely love this company, and I love the people that are in the company. They are just genuine, and I've spent many, many hours with them. So
it seems like a really great company.
They really are. I can't speak enough. Lauren calls me all the time. So it's like, that says a lot to me. I mean, he always gets my feedback on things. He was just now calling just a few minutes ago, and I'm like, I'll call you back.
Right. Do you charge the same for pets as you do humans?
I do not. What I've done with pets is I will charge $25 to do the scan on the pet, the vitals, because that's all we have right now. And then if they want me to analyze it, I charge $40.
Okay.
So with pets, I'm a little bit, less aggressive.
Yeah. Oh, I agree. I think it should be that way. I know some people don't do it that way, but again, I lead with my heart. So
yeah. And I also, what I find that, how I came up with that price, you're going to probably think I'm crazy, but I muscle tested. I
don't think you're crazy.
I just did a little prayer, and I was like, Lord, let me know what would be the good price point, because I don't want to be over and I don't want to be under, and I need to be paid for my time and the fact that my device is being hung up. So I just muscle tested, and that seemed like a good price. And then with the inner voice for the $50 for a month, people love that, and they love the tones.
That was really the piece that was making me lead, because I really wanted to keep it affordable, but not undervalue this.
Right.
I want people to, yes, it would be nice for them to all have a device, but it's not for everybody. Not everybody wants to pay the device price plus the $149 a month.
Right.
nor can they interpret the information. So that's where I can come in. So I still want to make this valuable for people and reach as many people as I can to help, but keep it very affordable, because the other company that we were using, it was just getting pricey and people weren't staying with it for very long.
Yeah. The other thing that you guys could add is making the bracelets and the wearables available, and then imprinting those frequencies every time the client comes in for a chiropractic visit.
I love that.
Yes, charge them $7 to $10 to imprint their bracelet for the week, and if they want to come back in and get them imprinted at once a week, then make a package deal. Hey, come by the office, we'll imprint your bracelet, $20 for a month or something. I don't know. Come. And
it doesn't have to be the bracelets that are sold on the website, correct?
They are not. You can even use, I don't have one on, but I have like little crystal bracelets. I also have, different crystal pin, things. Whoop, that came right off. But I have little necklace things that, that are made out of crystals, or even their diamond ring. You can imprint their diamond ring, their glasses, if they have metal glasses. I've even imprinted my contacts.
Really?
Yes.
That's cool.
And I'm hoping my eyes change. What else? You can imprint. We have the lip balm in the back office. You can actually imprint this. And let me tell you, this lip balm, if you imprint it with frequencies and you use this, you feel the frequencies. I don't know I guess it's got the tourmaline and the Cybin and this lip balm in it.
That's cool. Oh,
amazing.
I'm gonna have to look at that.
Yeah, and it's
the lip balm is non-toxic ingredients.
Yep.
Okay.
They also have,
because that's very important to me.
Yeah, they also have soap. And I use their body soap, and I love it. I mean, it's not the prettiest soap in the world, but I like it. Their lip balm is great. Every one of their products I've got. I'm doing the X. I've done the Solex Gold. Everything and I'm doing the Pets Plus with my little piggy britches, and she loves it. So everything so far has been spot on and non-toxic, and it's very important to Lauren as well. He is such an amazing person. I hope you get to meet him one day.
Yeah, hopefully soon. I did buy the virtual ticket. Yeah. So hopefully next time we can all meet.
Where are you located?
In Colorado.
All right.
I'm next door to Utah.
You are, and I'm next door to you, kind of, in a way. I'm in Oklahoma. I'm actually going to be in Michigan for the virtual Day of Discovery with my team up there. So if you guys have anybody in Michigan, we're having a big rally up there for the Day of Discovery.
Okay.
So keep that in mind, and I'll be up there doing one-on-one training. I'm staying extra. And I'm also going to be going into Pennsylvania and meeting up with some of my upline to do some work with them. So I'll be in March, I'll be gone for 2 or 3 weeks up in that area.
If you're going to do a group event, would you open that up to a Zoom as well so that we can jump on virtually?
Absolutely.
Excellent. And then I'm just looking over the list of questions, and Kayla had a question on our Google Doc about how long each scan is. Is there information that's available so that we would know how long each scan lasts?
What do you mean?
Like when running it, I'm guessing is what she means.
Oh, okay. Well, I can tell you those. The quick scan runs, I think it takes a full minute and I want to say 2 seconds to run. The easy scan takes 3 minutes and like 12 seconds of thereabouts. The inner voice literally takes about, I want to say it's about 20 or 30 seconds to run. The vitals, and don't quote me on this, but in the vitals runs, it takes about 4 minutes to run. The body systems is the longest, and I think I want to say it's right at 7 or 8 minutes to run. It might even be closer to 10 minutes. The big comprehensive, this custom one it takes about 10 minutes to run as well.
Okay.
Now that's more or less, I mean, but I'm pretty confident in what I'm telling you. I've been running them forever.
Thank you for that.
Uh-huh.
And I think that is it for
Okay.
our questions right now.
All right.
You made it through. Thank you.
So there anything else that I can teach you or show you for you?
I think I'm good right now. I think I have information that I'm ready to start charging. Like I've just been scanning almost all of my patients. I'm like, let's do this.
Yeah.
Let's just see. And so now I'm ready to start charging and implementing this.
Nice, nice. You know, and I've got a gal, she has a little wellness center in Texas area. And I'm like, do you realize if you had 2 or 3 devices and you trained your people on how to do this, you could put your people in a room and charge them an additional $25 a day, do their inner voice for them that day, and then you could work on them. Because she's a massage therapist, or they could be listening to their tones while she's doing, you know, their massage. There's just so many things.
Yeah. Well, I have a ionic foot detoxing bath. So I was thinking it would be good for them to do the inner voice, and then they can listen to their harmonics. And I have most of the chakra glasses. I just need to get a few more colors.
Yeah.
From a different company, and they could wear the glasses listening to the harmonics while they're getting their foot detox bath.
Nice. Perfect. Yeah, you got it. So yeah, just realize the sky's the limit, and there's so many things you can do with this still. So
I'm excited to be part of the company.
I know, it's amazing. It is amazing. I love it.
Thank you for your time.
All of you. You're welcome. You're so welcome. And I'm sorry I was not in a good place. So I'm glad y'all were patient with me, but I'm fine.
Understandable.
All right, then. You have a beautiful weekend.
You too. Thank you so much.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.